Well, I didn't think we'd be seeing this mechanical again, to be honest. Kind of forgot about it. Right, so we set up one of the 4 quadrants, and we can zoom in on them, and we can only play if it's not zoomed in. I remember this. Oh, but we can't. Wait, but we can't actually play the video. I see. Well, I presume it's one of these two. I do like how it's called Zoom Plus and Zoom Minus. When you first see it, it just sounds ridiculous. Like the plus means extra or something like that. Okay. I'm not necessarily seeing anything suspect there. Over here. Did it make that sound when they zoomed in here? Yeah, it did. I just wasn't paying attention. God, that's a very, very right one angle. And look at it. I still think it's probably caused by 2 semicircles overlapped. Like one semicircle here and another one here. Well, maybe not. I don't think the Mozilla thing is in that shape, and there are multiple footprints, so it needs to be whatever it caused, whatever process caused will have to be repeated multiple times. It couldn't have been an accident. The dark corner then. Oh good lord, come on now. Oh come on, that was... I'm... With the other one it's at least somewhat believable. But this is not how video works, come on now. This is not how enhancing works. Like, in the first game and the 4th case, that one is still believable because old-timey photos developed on film don't actually have pixels, so zooming or enhancing, giving additional details still make more sense. Because an enlargement really was just you take in the picture and making it larger, and it was much harder back then. Do I need to think that something digital is just really just zooming in, and that's on. No, come on now, come on now. The fact that it appears to like a frame later, too, it makes it even more ridiculous. Like, oh come on now. Also get caught that shirt, so the shirt of his is ridiculously tight. This is... What's the matter? I'm messy too. Hmm? Hey, what's wrong? Cite to me. Okay, gonna need to remember that express again. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I request you submit the evidence to the court. Please take a look at the top right corner of the zoomed in video. I like how we got all this zoom in on one of the corners. This person is the president. I feel like I should just stop trying to make those shouts work like that. Lengthening some of the letters doesn't really work when you read them loud, at least when I do. Impossible! Why is she saying impossible? Why are her and John saying no way? No way! Why are they surprised? It seems we finally found it at last. The evidence that points to the true killer. But hey, now we have to question how he got off the rooftop, don't we? This video places John at a major disadvantage. Right, John took that video. It's not like that video kept rolling after John left. John was on the video, then he went behind the camera to turn it off, and then the video ended. So that this is just briefly after John left the frame then. Within a minute, surely. You're wrong. That's not right. I didn't know anything about this. That was roughly his voice. That's not gonna cut it. It's clear that you and the victim were together at the same place where his body was later found. I was way too tired to record the last session, I should not just know that. So I'm going to have learned the voices very well. I do remember it surprisingly well. I don't. What's weird is that after I stopped recording last time, I just stayed up for almost another 12 hours. And I was really awake when I went to bed as well. Like when I recorded last one, I'd already been up for more than 24 hours. But then like close to 40 hours in, I didn't feel tired at all. I didn't understand how sleep works, honestly. I suppose that it's not so much that my need for sleep went away, but my body just stopped producing the hormones that make you tired, something like that. But I really had trouble remembering the last 2 days. I had to skip sleep that one time. It's kind of schedule went that way. John Mars, there's no doubt you killed the president. No, this can't be. Why? Why would you? John, please don't tell me. Did you really kill the president? Okay, Courtney does not trust her son a lot. So that makes me think that John might have a motive for killing the president. Otherwise, I don't know why Courtney would already be that suspicious. I mean, she does have to act like a fair judge, but goodness. It's Mr. Edgeworth. Is this really decisive evidence? Mr. Prosecutor, looks like even you can't object to this. That pup said he didn't know anything, right? And yet, the president's right here in the video. And I thought they had like a duel of him around or anything stupid like that. Man, he's sweating make me realize that I need to drink. John, what are you hiding? John, please tell us the truth. Well, he gives really few fucks right now. The truth is, it's all my fault. John Mars, what did you do? Mozilla's head falling was all my fault. During the rehearsal, when I was setting up the cabinet on the roof, I used the heater. What equipment was there up there anyways? I remember there was been a thing with a lot of heater and burning up there. After that I went down to practice, but I forgot to turn it off. Then my mom called me, so I left the film lot. When I came back to the lot after the phone call was over, Mozilla's head that was on the roof had fallen, and right next to it was the president, lying dead on the ground. How can that be? Well, I mean that's legally not murder, but we've established already that in Ace Attorney, even accidents seem to count as murder. I forget the exact case I'm supposed to be thinking of right now. It's not case 5 for the first game, is it? I forget. Hang on. There was some case where, despite the prosecution, that was that hard, arguing that it was an accident, it was still coming more. Oh no, yeah, that's not the past game, that's a future game. I'm not gonna say which ones to avoid spoilers. Oh, it does seem to be a legal standard in Ace Attorney, that even if something is murder, even if it was an accident. Legally. This is a strange standard to have. I see. That's a punishment-based system, not a rehabilitation-based system. And there were indeed traces of something that something had caught on fire on the rooftop. I kind of forgot about it on the list till he mentioned it. I do remember being up there now. It's just a small fire, so I was able to put it out by myself. So, the president's death was John's fault? But wouldn't that make this an accident, sir? But there are multiple footprints. And is the Mozilla in that shape? Is it? Is it though? I should have looked at that picture closer and how it was laid down. If it had clearly been implied to have rolled on over that. I don't see that being in the same shit. There's still a contradiction. Okay, hang on. I see a contradiction here. Which is that in the footage, it's over here. Yes. In the footage, there's already one of those footprints. So why was there already a footprint? If we're saying that the whole crater was caused by that thing falling over, that would imply that it had fallen over before at least once, and if not twice, since there are 3 footprints. Not that doesn't mean that he wasn't crushed by the head, but it's still a suspect. And what did you do with the fallen head? I took it apart, brought a piece up to the roof, and put it back together. I didn't. It was said that only somebody who knows how to do. It would be hard to do if you don't know how to do it. So, you put out the fire, and even put the fallen head back on the roof. What else did they say about the Mozilla set anyways? The original design. Which means you were hiding evidence. You can't be having that you know, the little pup. I didn't do it on purpose. I really didn't just forget to turn off the heater. When the legs broke, the stand would have tilted. When the legs broke, the stand would have tilted. If Mozilla's head was on top of the stand, it would have fallen off. So, the head would have fallen. They fell down because of the fire! Yeah, we already established that when we were up there, did we not? I say, just having remembered that we were up there. Yes, and if that's the case, I also have a pretty good idea what caused the fire. Edgeworth? Did he not just say that it was the space heater? Oh, right, there's flammable liquid there. There's a flammable can next to the heater. It seems someone is lacking in safety awareness. Was it really just an accident? If that's the truth, then what was the president doing here? I don't know. There was no one else in Wonder when I was here. You expect me to believe that? The president wouldn't have just gonna come to this place like this without a reason, you know. Indeed, the president's reason for coming here is still a huge mystery. 2 nights ago, he met with... And again, the question, how did he get down from here, is a big one. 2 nights ago, he met with Judge Courtney on the roof of the current tower. And last night, he was here at the film lot. Did he meet with John? There was a testimony, right, so there still can be a rebuttal. I'll have to listen to John's testimony very carefully. Oh, here it comes. When I was setting up the equipment on the roof, I used a heater. It's really similar to Sebastian's voice, isn't it? John, you are still young. Yes, thank you, Edgeworth. I know it can get a little cold in early spring, but you shouldn't have to resort to a heater. That's a really unnecessary. That's a very unnecessary remark. It is precisely because he's so young that he must make sure to take good care of himself. However, while it can get a bit extreme, chilly during this time of the year. I won't necessarily say. No, spring nights are very cold. Come on now. Hold it, old man. Is this when the right time to be having this argument? Thank you for being the adult here. He's completely right. John, you did well to get the better of Mr. Edgeworth, but please mind your language. What did he say? Well, let's not forget that he got the better of you too, Your Honor. I know, ma'am. So, where was I? After that, I went down to practice, but I forgot to turn it off. You forgot to turn off the heater. Also, if there's flammable liquid, how do you... That's not an easy fire to put out. It's not like putting out a bit of wood that's on fire. I'm not... I mean, it's not necessarily oil or something, but... Who knows? Depends on the liquid, I suppose. You forgot to turn off the heater. You didn't check it before leaving the room. I meant to turn it off, but I was too focused on practicing, so... And come on, everyone forgets stuff like that sometimes. Yeah, I getcha. I forget small things like that all the time too. This is about to say something very stupid. Like sometimes I forget to turn off the AC and the lights at Mr. Edgeworth's office. Or the top of the ladder from his bookshelf, so I'll leave prank calls on his answering machine. From, you mean? Is it the first typo I was in this game? Either I'm misunderstanding that or that's the first typo in this game. Which is surprising because I patched this game multiple times for typos. And this is a surprise. How is leaving prank calls being forgetful though? But forgetting to turn off the heater is really dangerous. You gotta be careful. Some of those things had nothing to do with forgetfulness. Right. When she started talking about the ladder, I thought she was starting to forget about but forgetting how high she was or something. Jumped up to... I went up here, myself, goodness. John, please continue. Looks like you got it rough too, old man. Well, back to my story. And my mom called me, so I left the film lot. It was late at night at the film lot, and not a single member of the film crew was around. So then, why did you have to leave the premise in order to answer the phone call? Very fair question. I did not think of that at all. I thought I forgot about the phone call thing, so I kind of panicked. If I didn't answer it fast, I would have been busted for leaving the hotel without permission. In that case, why did you just enjoy it here, Wayne Darson? Because I was rehearsing, all the cameras and mics were on. If I talk here, every last word I said the man would have been caught on camera. So he was embarrassed that the conversation with his mother would be recorded. I'm gonna believe that just because I don't think he... I think that'd be a very hard lie to come up with on the spot. To be fair, I'm not good at lying anyways. So what do I know? Anyways, I stopped practicing for a bit and rushed out of the film lot. When I came back to the lot after the phone comes order. We are at health, goodness. In that phone call, you lied and said you were at the hotel, correct? Why didn't you tell your mom that you were rehearsing? If I told her that, she would call the hotel and make them send me a taxi or something. Of course I would have. A child alone on the streets at that time of the night? What sort of parents would allow the child to be in such a dangerous situation? I guess kids just don't understand how their parents feel. It goes both ways, Mr. Edgeworth. No, parents used to be kids. Indeed, but I'll generally agree. People forget how they were as kids. Their mentality. like you can't remember what it's like to not know a language or not know something. It's not that you can remember some of the general feeling, but you remembering not to knowing something is kind of impossible. Something that I actually find super interesting is that, you know, I'm not a native English speaker, obviously, but I did hear, you know, a lot of music in English, a lot of songs in English before I even started learning English, and even after that. So I obviously didn't understand any of the lyrics, but I might be able to remember the melody paths. But what's interesting to me is that now that I have learned in English, I still can't like look back onto my memory and be able to figure out what they said. It's impossible for me, despite the fact that I would have been able to possibly even sing some of them, just because of how well I knew some of the songs vocally. I'm not able to decipher them in my head, even in hindsight. That it kind of makes me wonder if it could be somewhat comparable to, I guess, trying to open an old file type with new software, with updated software. I don't generally like those type of analogies with talking about humans as computers, but I think it could be accurate. Like the more you grow up, the more information that you process when you're thinking about anything, the more layers you're thinking about. So it would make, in a sense, make sense that your memories would be saved in a different format, in a different way, and that how you'd, in a sense, I guess, access your memories might therefore change. I don't worry about that, because there are a lot of things that I used to be able to remember easily that I can't now anymore. Even like recent, from a few years ago, I can't remember the names of my classmates from just a couple of years ago. Can't happen. Not names I thought I'd ever forget, but I don't remember what they looked like or what their names were. Memory is interesting. Indeed. Now then, John, please tell us what happened after the phone call. Yeah, of course. When the call was finished and I came back here, Lucilla's head was on the roof had fallen. Was there any indication that the head was about to fall? I don't know. I was focused on my rehearsal. So you forgot to turn off the heater, which led to a fire on the roof. I think you should have at least heard something. Heard something? Oh, I was wearing headphones, so... Headphones? So you're handling calls like that, are you? Listening to the movie soundtrack has me get in the scene. I'll be honest, yeah, they just kind of blended with his haunt, but I did see them too. Didn't think about it. I do that too when I'm writing. Not all the time. It is a huge mental... It's a huge mental block. In a sense, requires a lot of cognitive power. Multitasking is just not something humans are very good at. So if they don't fit together very well, it's just harder. Might can work for some things. I done full blast. Oh no, that's why I didn't hear anything. What type of full blast are your headphones made of? If I put my headphones on full blast, my neighbors could hear what's happening. I usually have my headphones at like 2%, 4%. 10% is already ear-shattering. I don't understand, especially with headphones and earphones, like... There's a technical limit as to how loud of sound they can make. Why not cap it lower? Why not have 100% volume be lower? Like, what the hell is the point of allowing your earphones to be so loud your neighbors could hear it? What's the point of giving them the ability to accidentally like hurt your ears? Like, you're not gonna need to use them as speakers almost ever. And yet, you notice your mother's incoming call, the vibrate. I had my phone on vibrate, oh man, that's how I noticed. Anyway, the head had fallen. And right next to it was the president lying dead on the ground. Still doing that thing where I only do the voice and then don't put the emotion behind it. I've done a bit better with Courtney and Blaze on that. What was the state of the body? I didn't get a good look, because it was dark. He's only become as quiet as a mouse. Yeah, his body language is quite readable, isn't it? Avoids eye contact every now and again. I guess John doesn't really want to remember anything about the body. Is that the only reason why he's gone so quiet? Should I press him on for more details? Sure, Courtney might get mad at us, but let's have it. You didn't get a good look? Then how did you know he was dead? And the head was right next to him. Well... He's clearly shaken. He must be hiding something. Why don't you normally call for help if you see someone collapse on the ground? However, you did nothing of the sort. But he was already dead. Is that so? You seem quite certain that the president was already dead. There's an obvious joke to be made here. No, is there a reason for that, I wonder? The guy was collapsed on the ground, and right next to him was the fallen monster's hand. I'm not stupid. It wasn't hard to imagine what had happened. You can imagine whatever you want, but there was no way for you to know that he was dead. You actually checked to make sure the president was dead, didn't you? Yeah, that's right. I was scared, but I got up close to the body and checked to see if he was breathing. I thought as much. However, why would he hide that? There must be a reason. Did he leave the yellow stains? That's not like spilled rotten milk or something, right? Yellow stains. I think it was powder, right? I don't remember. Gunpowder residue on his right hand. I forgot about that, that's very interesting. Lights on! Where the fuck is this? Well, there we go. The yellow stain on his suit is currently being analyzed. Gunpowder residue. This case is very interesting. Did I just resize the game? Nope. Please tell me the state of the body at the time. At first, I didn't know he was dead. I would have realized sooner if there had been any blood. But there wasn't a single drop, and his clothes were completely spotless. Either way, he wasn't breathing. Spotless, well. That's gonna be the contradiction, isn't it? That's how I knew he was already dead. My worm. Would you please append those statements to your testimony? I couldn't go for that. Mail lesson like that. Without that joke. Okay, well. But the many contradictions, like... Well, he's not saying that those craters were caused by the head falling. His voice calculate appears that way. So that's not a contradiction now. Or he's not saying that that he knows how the president got down and was able to be alive. Well, so while that contradiction isn't a contradiction in his testimony. His clothes were spotless. That's something to debate with Wolfboy. Yeah, that's right. You got a problem with that, old man? John, it is painfully obvious that you're desperately trying to hide something from me. What are you going to run about? I'm not hiding anything. You are hiding something about this yellow stain on the president's clothes, correct? I need to look at the footage to see what jumps out of his bag. Why did you leave it entirely out of your testimony? And the fact that you made no mention of it only serves to cast more suspicion upon yourself. There's so many witnesses that give us unnecessary extra information. Like saying that it was spotless. You still need to say his clothes were spotless. That's because... I hope you have a convincing explanation. Oh, she's not happy. Judge Courtney? Allow me to explain. Why are you? The yellow stain left on the president's chest is almost certainly lion lily pollen. Lion lily. When I met with the president on the roof of the Grand Tower 2 nights ago, I brought him a bouquet of lion lilies. Let's look at the surveillance footage. Possibly. That is a very well shaded picture. Image. It's gotta say. Very tonal. Lion lilies are beautiful flowers with stunning golden petals. Some of the pollen from the lilies must have gotten on the president's suit. Huh? But... I didn't see any lilies in the security footage though. Well, they were simply obstructed by the president's body. Yeah, that body can obstruct a lot of things. Seemingly justice as well. Why did you bring a bouquet? That I cannot say. You're keeping way too many secrets. You won't tell us why you met with the president, or the reason you brought him the flowers. My apologies. However, I did give him the bouquet. That much is true. But when the president's body was discovered, we didn't find any flowers. I honestly don't know how that could be. Hey, Miss Judge. All your answers have been too vague. You can't say this and you can't say that. Do you accept fancy testimony like that in your trials? Hey, cut it out! John! I threw the flowers away. I can't tell if he's lying to protect his mother or... What's up? That's... Why would you do that? I don't immediately see any motive. You threw them... unless he's about to say that he met with the president after being on the tower, but before that point. And he just presumes that we know about this meeting. You threw them away? So there were flowers in the body when you found it? Yeah, that's right. They were right on top of the president's body. They had been crushed as flat as pancakes, though. Ah, I see. So the flowers were caused by Musfla's head, too. And a large amount of pollen got stuck on the president's suit. And that seems to be the gist of it. So he was trying to really hide the fact that he got crushed. However, why did you go out of your way to dispose of the flowers? No reason. What type of factually document is that? So Joe's not going to tell us anything either. I guess mother and son both have a lot of secrets, huh? That is not true. At the very least, I can tell you why John threw away these flowers. Those... Ah? Oh? John You saw me leaving the house with those flowers in hand, did you not? Ah, I get it. John turned the flowers and the other his mom. He threw them away in order to protect Judge Courtney from being suspected. Ah. I was thinking of being bitter or something, but that line of logic makes perfect sense. Okay, that's good. Storytelling there. That's not true. You're all wrong. And that was his first lie yet. Definitely. This case gets getting weirder and weirder. With lots of disconnected things. Like we have something with the history of Langenstein far, which is somehow connected to Blaze and Roland. At the same time, you have Mozilla, a film thing, with film monster, and also somehow we have Gordy, which I think is just gonna be maybe. It was the camera covered in top. We established that. I didn't just think that any longer. We have the Mozilla's eye and the footprints. But then there's also the killer and the red raincoat motherfucker. It's very disconnected, it feels. I like it. It's a very different case. I often decorate our house with those flowers. The bouquet must have reminded him of me. So the pup just happened to find the flowers from his mother. This bouquet under the body. That's why I threw them away and kept silence about the body. Huh! That's a hard little story if I've ever heard one. And what's wrong with that? I suppose you'd prefer untidy, messy stories, Nathan Lang? Don't tell me you forgot and already messy. This pump confessed that he caused the monster's head to fall last night. Oh, that's true, but... So he's saying what I said about him trying to cover that up. He's currently the only suspect in the president's murder. It is true that there are many reasons to suspect John. However, there is someone other than John who is far more suspicious. What you say? John himself was kidnapped by that very person not too long ago. Thank you for finally bringing this up. And we rescued him from the refrigerator warehouse near the harbor, pal. A refrigerated warehouse? Refrigerated warehouse? Wasn't this by a garbage dump? That's right, pal. This is the first we've heard of this. Sunshine's warehouse. The refrigerator wasn't turned on, so he wasn't about to freeze to death. But if he hadn't yelled out for help, you'd have never found him. Once the sleeping drugs wore off, he was finally able to call for help. Sleeping drugs, huh? If I recall correctly, when you were kidnapped. That's right! There was a bottle lying on the floor of the refrigerated warehouse. I think it was the same thing that was used on me not long ago. That sleepy CCC stuff. It's super powerful. I enjoy the CCC with the middle C capitalized. That's creative. The brand name is CCC. Is that gonna be? Why is that being said as if it's relevant and not just a pun? How about it, Agent Lang? John is clearly a victim. There is a mastermind at work behind the scenes of this case. I know anything about this so-called mastermind. You said they were here last night. I still don't know for sure yet. He could have still fallen from the roof under that spot, but it also seems convenient. No, the president was standing down here. Come on, Nami. Keep things in your mind. Huh! It's not like you to be so vague, Mr. Prosecutor. Indeed. I still don't have any evidence that ties the mastermind to this murder. Is there someone else? Is there anyone besides John who had the opportunity to murder the president? Oh, that's it. I see. As I thought, in the end, that pup is our only suspect. So we're saying that somebody hid in that suit. Possibly Blaze, possibly not. Isn't there one more suspect, Agent Lang? What's this? Didn't we prove it earlier? Last night there was one more person here. Blaze the best. You're saying he's the one who did it. Last night, John was not alone. Blaze the best was here too. Shouldn't we consider him to be a new suspect? Blaze the best. Kill the president. It's entirely possible. Blaze the best. It can't be. The same guy from 12 years ago. What happened 12 years ago? I mean, 12 years ago? That keeps popping up. Just ask already. Well, a lot has changed. It all happened over 12 years ago. Back then, he and my old man were close friends, and our clan protected the president's life. Lang, don't tell me you're the one from 12 years ago. You got it. Ain't this nice? Now you're finally kind of got the prison where you belong. 12 years is a long time coming from a suspended sentence, don't you agree? Agent Lang, what happened 12 years ago? Nothing that concerns you. On the contrary, it might just have some sort of connection to this case. And I suppose you have some proof, Mr. Prosecutor. Some evidence that there's a connection between this case and the one 12 years ago. Evidence? Do we have that? What did we get from the... Oopsie daisy. From the safe? Evidence, you say? If you don't have any evidence, then there's no point in talking about it. Water time. Gonna need a drink. Get the water cold. Is there any evidence that connects this case with what happened 12 years ago? I'm gonna look at this at first. Okay. Should be cold. That's cold enough. Oopsie daisy. Gotta keep hydrated. Right. Let's see how that affects my ability to do voices. Going from a dry throat to a wet one. Okay, 12 years. I'm immediately seeing 12 years. Tomorrow, I shall interrogate him in the warden's office. I'll get him to confess that he's one of Dorian's henchmen. That thingy he laid to rest in front of me, flowerbed 12 years ago. Flowerbed? You simply must retrieve it. Laid in front of that flowerbed 12 years ago. Are we saying that Blaze went to dig at some sort of a garden for something that was hidden by Knightley? And then possibly hit the knife in the same process. Interesting. And this is a report written by Patricia Rowland to place the best regarding Knightley. Please read this part here. That thing elevated us near the flowerbed 12 years ago. That's not all. Take a look at this as well. This lady was sent to Jill Crane. Oh, what was this in this one? Who was murdered 2 days ago. Although the sentence is currently unknown. Here, it is written as follows. Right, there was something about But your most precious memories from 12 years ago, or something like that. No. No, I'm mixing some of them up. Yeah. Police get revenge for 12 years ago. What? 12 years ago? Agent Lang, something big is happening here. Jill Crane's murder 2 days ago, and now the president's murder today. There has to be some connection there. And the key to solving it lies in what happened 12 years ago, does it not? You're asking me to reopen the old wounds of the Lang clan. Agent Lang, I beg of you. Oh, who's this? Who was that just now? Good lord, this is 10 people. We have 10 people. And possibly about to have an 11th one. Sifu! Okay, there's someone yelling at Lang, right? Yep. MIB, guys. You guys, what are you all doing here? That wasn't the connotation. We found out you're here, Sifu. We heard that Sifu was investigating the incident from 30 years ago. From who? You idiots! I'm not your boss anymore. Get back to your own posts. Sir, we can't do that. What to say? Are you disobeying my orders? Sifu, we also beg of you. Investigate the SS Pride incident for 20 years ago. If these guys hang around, which I thought they will, I'll give them a different voice. And possibly different ones. None of us could ever forget that case. We know how you feel. We know you feel the same way, Sifu. Agent Lang, even your former subordinates decided to investigate the case. That felt a little cliché, really cliché. Although they heard that he was investigating it, were they just hiding behind the wall, listening in? Could that be funny? And you think you can solve the mystery of the case? Perhaps I can, with your help. I got it. I accept your invitation. Sifu! Oh lordy. Now then, with that decided, I guess it's my turn to sign. Okay. We're investigating a case from the past, right? And guess what the best tool for that is? Okay, little thief. So we won't actually have to go to Zhengfa in this game. I was wondering, even in the first case, if we were ever gonna go to Zhengfa. The little Mr. Thief. If I had to take a guess, 12 years ago, whatever happened at the Grand Tower. If I had to take a guess, or somewhere near here. Right. If they've had case files from the past games, I can recreate it. Unfortunately, I don't have the case files. Huh? What do you mean? Access to those case files is restricted. It's been treated as highly classified information. You could tell us what you remember. Why is that? I know, but it seems like there was a lot of things that they wanted to keep hidden. Even what I know is limited to what was published in the newspapers back then. So you didn't investigate back then? I mean, how old are you anyways? Well, that will not be a problem. In any case, please tell us what you know. He was 15 back then. Sure. 12 years is a long time. This is 5 incident. And the incident occurred on a winter day 12 years ago. It was the 10th of February. Is this another new song? The police department in this country received a call from a group of kidnappers. We've kidnapped President Huang, they said. Kidnapped? This is 5 incident was the case of President Huang's kidnapping. Maybe he states that as well. That could be interesting. They demanded a ransom of $100 million. I'm sorry, I had to. 100 million? Wait, just how much is that? I don't answer the question. What's the question? It's such a large amount, she's having trouble visualizing it. Thank you. That night, Mouth Man was the last person to meet with the president. Ah. They were together at the Singapore embassy until midnight on February 10th. After that, no one knows what the president was doing until he was kidnapped. With the president's life at stake, the Singapore government frantically gathered the money. After that, the ransom was delivered and the president was returned safe and sound. So, President Huang has been the president since 12 years ago. That's really amazing. I'm guessing that the president might have been involved. Like, there's a very good chance that he partook in the black market auction. So I don't put it past him to be laundering money like in some sort of 100 million. It'd be a weird way to launder money. I mean, that's not necessarily the best. Laundering isn't necessarily the best term to use, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was involved. He's clearly into some shady stuff. Well, being in the office for so long is just a small part of how amazing that man is. Lang seems a bit happy when she said that. And what happened to the kidnappers? Well, a top secret covered investigation was carried out, and a secret trial was held. A trial? Does that mean the suspect was caught? The suspect was Patricia Rowland. Oh my. Yay, this song again. I like this one. I mean, it's his theme, but changed up a bit. Well then, the reason you came to the prison a few days ago? Yeah, I was put on extended leave from Interpol. So I decided to go back and investigate what happened 12 years ago. So that's what the MIB agents were about. First, I had to get a look at the face of my target. So the trial 12 years ago ended with a not guilty verdict. So it's a top secret trial, so they didn't know. They knew who. Wait. She didn't know who the culprit, who the suspect was, because otherwise he would already know what the verdict was. But nobody knew what the verdict was. That's interesting. That's a very secret trial. But if people know who, well, no, she didn't know who the culprit, as far as I just said. Lang did. Yeah. Back then, my old man was in charge of every aspect of the president's security. He took responsibility for the kidnapping and was relieved of his post as bodyguard. But he continued to investigate as a regular police officer until he finally found the culprit. And it was none other than Patricia Rowland. There was no way she could be innocent. However, the result was a not guilty verdict, and in the end, the case went unsolved. Costing both body and soul, the man resigned for the police. What was the basis for arresting Patricia Rowland? There was a lot of evidence. At least, that's what I think. Think? But I can't see those documents for myself. What did he tell you? So, that's where my story ends. What should we do? With only this much information? Even a little thief would have a hard time producing a recreation. Is there really nothing we can do? But Justin Corder seems to know something about the case. Another person. We already have... We have 11 people on the screen, and technically 2 more off screen who are copies of the one MIV member of the screen. But now somebody else is arriving. Sebastian? I don't know. Sebastian's really young. Who's that? Oh, I know, I forgot about you too. It's like, okay, it has to be some sort of an investigator or prosecutor. I know, I didn't think of them. Francisco. And Mr. Shields too. I finished up with the trial and finally managed to catch up with you guys. Here, take this. It was a guilty verdict, I take it? On those scenes. Oh, it's the case file from SS5 pages, sir. Well, see, why does she have access to them if Lang doesn't? Lang's an Interpol member, so it's not like Francisca's position in the Interpol would provide use. Well, some use maybe. 12 years ago, the president was kidnapped and a witness was killed. Oh, it's always a murder, isn't it? When Roland mentioned 12 years ago during the trial, it caught my interest. I looked into it immediately and got in touch with the Interpol. I expected no less from you, Francisco. Don't get the wrong idea, Miles Edward. I didn't prepare these documents for you, the former prosecutor. I did it for the sake of the investigator taking up the case. The case his father left behind. Sis. Well, his skull is so much bigger than hers. But I thought the information of this SS5 incident was restricted to the public. That restriction was placed by the prosecutor in charge of the case. Likes the best. Well. Believes the best was the prosecutor in charge. So Blaze doesn't have a perfect win streak. And that's obviously enough warrant for a retrial. Although statute of limitations 12 years ago, murder was 15, but different countries have different rules. However, as a result of the trial just now, Blaze's authority has been revoked. It's all thanks to his son. Hey, this song again. Sebastian, by bringing down his father, the door to his past cases have been reopened. Prosecutor at the best is currently wrapping up things up with Patricia Roland's trial. So who currently has the authority over Blaze's old trials? And the current chief prosecutor, I presume? He told me to relay this message to you. Leave Pap and his cohorts to me. You guys just take care of the case on your end. He's become quite reliable right before our very eyes. Truly. Alrighty then. This is perfect. Now that we have the files, just leave the equation to me. Indeed. Well then, let's begin. According to these documents, it appears that the incident took place right in front of the Tower Plaza. Hold it. Then let's head over to the plaza right away. There's a large group of people. It's a very large group of people. I don't like how they had 12 of them move. Maybe there's a limit to how many sprites they can have move without the game lagging at the same time. Yeah, this is certainly an advantage that this game format has so to base it in Estronic games. I actually think this style of gameplay is just better than what Laser Estronic games have. I kind of wish the Estronic games shifted to this style. Because really is good. Well, now we're in 3D land, which that has its advantages as well. Okay, would you please activate the little Mr. Thief? I think that's gonna happen next time.